Good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Hello and welcome everyone. Today we're joined by Z here.
Hey, how's it going?
Also, good. Also known as part of Nymphadora here as his as his DeviantArt. You can go check it out with both Z and Valentina's work as well, and they've both been in on my streams. We've had one with both of them, and we've also had with Z as well. So yeah, what you been up to since the last time I kind of streamed with you?
The usual, freelancing here and there, doing some personal art when I have free time, and going to a convention. Since it's summer here, conventions are starting.
Yeah. Did you say conventions?
No, conventions like
Yeah.
anime or that kind of thing.
Yeah, Comic Cons and things. Awesome.
Yeah.
And are those like, the weekend events, or are they during the week?
Usually they're on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we go to maybe 3 or 4 of those a year.
Awesome. Are they like quite expensive to get into?
No, not in Croatia. They're pretty cheap. I think they're something like maybe 20 euros if you're an attendee. If you want to go in the artist alley, it's a lot of them will let you just give them some of your merchandise, like maybe I don't remember, but it's something like less than 100 euros worth of merchandise. So, for us, it's we give them prints because that's mostly what we have. And if we give them something like 100 euros worth of prints, it actually only cost us, much less than that to get them printed. So it's actually it's pretty affordable here to go to conventions for artists. And the next one we're going to is in Stuttgart, is the Comic-Con in Germany, and I think that one was for a table. It was like 120 or something in that neighborhood, So it's not nothing. It definitely costs a bit of money. And if you sell some prints, if you sell like a moderate amount of prints, it's not a bad deal, for a weekend's worth of time and effort.
Yeah, it's definitely hard here in New Zealand because we don't have many, and if we do have them, they do like cost you quite a bit to actually do. So with that, you've got to actually sell quite a bit to cover your costs and everything. Which it discourages a lot of people because it costs a lot to do it. But I mean, we do have other things like little fairs and things around the place that I see people do quite a bit. Some of them obviously are run by people that are trying to just make money from it. Others are run more because they like running kind of those things, so they don't cost so much, which I've been to quite a few interesting ones. But yeah, now I don't really do those anymore. Just I guess it's not my cup of tea. But yeah.
Yeah, there's some of them. It really varies a lot. Some of them, depending on the circumstances and the organization, the people who organize it. Some of them do it out of passion also, and they can end up losing money because they don't charge very much to go. And some of them are quite expensive. So yeah, we only go to the affordable ones because we don't. It's not our business, like main source of income to go to those things. We go partly because it's fun. You meet people. You get to talk to people who are into the same kind of things, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. I went to their again, we had here Comic-Con like event, and you know, I did want to make money, but most of it was, you know, I enjoyed seeing all the artists that were there, just, you know, talking and showing people what I've created, and yeah, chatting. I got to meet like Tara McPherson. I chatted with her and her art and things like that, and some few local Wellington artists that were there and things like that. So yeah, these events are great, and you can meet some awesome people and artists, and yeah, just learn from them, which is great.
Yeah, I found that a lot of you can see art online and you can see tutorials and information and all that stuff, but it's quite different to go somewhere and meet people in real life. You sort of get more pick up more motivation or inspiration from them in real life. So it's sort of like you go there you pay money and spend time, and you're buying kind of motivation, you know, something like that.
Yeah, it's great, and like these events, you get people of all different levels. You know, you get people that maybe just at your, like, you know, at the level you might be at, or you know, way higher. You know, people that are just like trying to make it and things, or people that are kind of more in the industry. You know, you get to see what the issues are like and what kind of things they're dealing with, which is really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I went to an event probably 2 or 3 years ago. It was like imagination, imagination. It was like Art Cloud Worlds event kind of a thing. It was with like Weta workshops, and a lot of, they had like Ian McRae come in for a chat. They had a lot of other artists
Oh, that's
that
pretty
were
cool.
there. Yeah, and it was really cool because, you know, you got to see them talk on stage live. Then they'll have like tea breaks and things, and you can kind of like interact with some of the artists, and then, you know, go to they had like mini shops during like the breaks that you could go, you know, check out a book, or you know, they had a lot of, it's one of the artists was kind of worked on some of the Disney movies and you know, studio movies, so they had those like art of books there, so you can, you know, buy the books and get them signed. Yeah, and it was just cool. I was in line and I got to meet the guy, and we just, because I really liked his color, his use of color. I've got his book. I got it signed. It was really awesome to meet him and just chat a little bit about color and things.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian McCabe was super cool. He's such a friendly guy, and he's just like full of positivity, and he's encouraging everybody, always laughing and smiling. Yeah, it's really nice. That's probably the best thing when you go to one of these things, is to meet somebody and they just give you a lot.
He's like, he's very he's inspirational, and he's also like on stage. When I was watching him, he's like a comedian, or you know, kind of like per se Robin Williams or someone like that. You know, he's flinging his arms around stage, like getting into character, telling
he's
stories.
like a 5-year-old on stage.
Yeah, he's very, you know, it's great to see that in him, and you can see where, you know, where his character has come from, his you know, where his art comes from. You know, it shows on the outside as well as, you know, in his art and things like that, which is it's great to see people like that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really on board with him, because specifically that he seems to be like a really good example that if you have fun, like the more fun you have by doing something, the better you get at it. And he's probably my favorite draftsman. Like his drawings are, I think, without equal in this, at least in this like entertainment art world.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. So I saw that on DeviantArt, and you kind of discussed it, mentioned it as well. Is that how to draw being happy, or how to draw and be happy? And is that like part of a series you're doing, or is that just a one-off?
Well, I like to keep writing on the topic since that is something I'm most interested in. It's a bit like you kind of want to talk about and show people what you're good at, right? And that's the thing I'm the best at. I'm very happy while doing my art. And then I see there's people around me, especially if I go to conventions. People always have something going on that bothers them. So I just have this desire to tell them stuff and cheer them up and get them to be happy while making their art. So I wrote one article because there was a indie art magazine, and they're looking for submissions. So I thought, I have something to say. So I wrote something for them, and I'll probably keep writing on the topic as long as I have something. If something comes to me, I'll write it down and publish it. And whoever reads it, if it helps them, that's good. If not, I had fun writing it.
So awesome! Did that one actually make it into the magazine? Did it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's good.
So I'll put the rest on this on my DeviantArt. I'll just put them in their own separate gallery, and you find it here. If you want to link it later, it's just called Writings of Z, and there's 2 parts on it now. And I'll probably write more later. When ideas come to me about it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll put that down in the description, to the links of what we talked about there. Yeah, that's
Great.
cool. I mean, I read it a bit, and I read into it. You talk a bit about smiling, and the idea of like making a smile, like kind of forcing yourself to smile in a way, but smiling making you happy versus being happy and then smiling. That kind of
the cause and effect relationship that people have with happiness is usually the one way that I'll only smile and look happy or act happy if I am happy. And I'll only be happy if something good happens to me. So it's kind of like you're waiting for good things to happen around you so that you can feel happy about it, which makes you kind of helpless, that you're just a result. Your mental state is just a result of things that happen, and since most of the things that happen in life you don't control, then it can make you feel a bit helpless or passive, especially in this today's world where there's so many things happening in the world all the time. So that's kind of the most basic and kind of profound thing is that you don't need to wait for things to happen to you to be happy. You just have to smile and decide that you're happy. And as soon as you do that, your brain will look at your mouth and go like, I'm smiling, so I guess I must be happy. And then it goes and does all the necessary biochemical whatever things, with the dopamine and serotonin and whatever, and then you'll be actually happy. So you don't have to wait for it. You just say, I can be happy right now. And now, why not? If you get to choose between being happy or not, which one would you choose, right? So that's the basic idea behind it. And then I go to kind of explain in more detail how, if you want to be a good artist, if you want to be more energetic and more creative, you want to be more motivated, if you don't want to get stuck in a rut, if you want to have fun, if you want your art to make a positive effect on people, then being happy helps with all that. It's not just like a feel good kind of, I don't know, selfish indulgence type thing. It has a huge effect on your how you do things and how you feel when you're doing them.
Exactly. I mean, it's the opposite effect. Like, if you are feeling pretty crappy, obviously it's going to show in your work. So yeah, if you can be in a good position, a happy state, it'll be great for your art, But
Yeah, and it's good for the people around you. I mean, if you're happy, then you kind of make everybody else feel good by being yourself. So it's a win-win situation there.
Yeah, it is, a tough thing to do as well, because like you said, there's so many things that go on. You might someone might die in your family, or you might have some sort of situation that happens. But yeah, we have to kind of just get through that, and we all have to deal with those things. They're not easy to deal with, but some of us have thicker skin than others. For me, I feel like that I do have thicker skin per se. I do feel emotional sometimes when things happen. Someone passing away, like for instance when my uncle died when I was like 8 or 9, I was very emotional about that, very sad. But I got it through it, and I still kept doing what I loved. I still kept going, and you just get through it.
Yeah, it's not easy, definitely, and it's not easy just because we've all kind of learned a certain kind of habit, right? And usually the habit we learn is, if something good happens, and I will feel good about it, and if something feels bad, and I'll feel bad about it, or something happens that's bad, then we'll feel bad. And over time, we kind of make that habit like a part of our self, like our personality. Our idea of self is that I respond or I react to things in this way, and that's so that kind of habit is actually what makes you feel bad. It's not the things themselves, because from what I've been practicing, and this is a practice. It's not a theory. It's not a cheer you up kind of pep talk. It's an actual thing that you do, like a technique. And when you do it, you start to figure out that actually good things and bad things happen all the time, and I don't have to react to it like if you're a kind of robot that has a set amount kind of programming. You can actually start choosing how you respond, and when you learn to do that, you can choose to be okay with things. When bad things happen, you can say, okay, that thing happened and I recognize it happened, but I can be okay with it. I don't need to go into an emotional roller coaster. And that's the basic idea. It's kind of realizing that you have a choice all the time, and you're not helpless. You're not a robot. So that's the fun thing about it. It's kind of you're like if you think of life as a game, like an RPG sometimes, that I think about it, you're kind of unlocking some new controls that you never knew you had.
Yeah, definitely. Like, for instance, if you get sick, and then a couple of months later you kind of get sick again, well, the second time round you kind of know how to deal with it. For me, I don't really take anything. I just drink water and get through it, and that works best for me. different for everyone, obviously, but you figure out a way to get through it. Sometimes I've got different kind of bugs. I a few months back I had a some sort of tummy bug, so it's just spewing up for pretty much the day, which wasn't great, but if I did have it again, I know how to deal with it. My body kind of knows how to deal with it. Just
Yeah, that's a really good example. When you get sick, when you do this thing that I described in the articles, you're kind of developing a new skill, which is a kind of mental balance, and that is like if you get sick and you've seen that, okay, I get sick from time to time, and then I feel bad for a bit, and then it'll go away after a while by itself. So your mind starts to say, this is not such a big deal, it happens. I'll go through it, feel bad, and then I'll be okay again. And then the more your mind sees that, the less kind of distraught you get from that when you get sick. You just be like, oh, there it is. I'm coughing, I'm sneezing. Time to take a break. Kind of like this. It's kind of like this never mind attitude, like, oh, I'm sick, never mind, it's all right.
Most of the time it's like, I'm sick, well, I can still paint, but sometimes it's I can't paint because I'm that sick that I just need to stay in bed all day. But if it's just a common cold, I'm like, oh yeah, I can still paint.
Yeah, I mean, just for this, in this like specific case, if I get sick, I would be so involved with trying to do stuff that I wouldn't be paying so much attention, so I wouldn't even notice I'm starting to get sick until I'm really sick.
Yeah.
And then I'm sick for a week. So, and one of the side benefits of doing this kind of thing is that you start to just be much more aware of how you feel all the time, like your body and your mind. So that now, if I'm starting to feel bad, I notice right away. Then I'll just take a day off, and then I'm just sick for a day instead of being sick for a week.
Yeah.
So you kind of get this benefit of like knowing how you feel much better, and knowing what to do with the situation.
Well, it's like a couple of weeks back I was going through a cold, and basically I was thinking I was going to go home and paint, but in the end I just went home, went to bed, had tea, then went to bed again and slept through the whole night, and the next day I was just like feeling really, really great. But that was my plan of action, and just continue painting the next day rather than actually try and push it out. And then if I had tried and pushed it out, I would have ended up being sick for the whole week or something like that, or
definitely could have been like that.
or having the day off work or something like that was gonna basically break my routine, or break something even further than it needed to be. You also talked a bit about RSD, relax,
smile, draw.
Relax, smile, draw, which is really cool. I thought it's really catchy. It reminded me a bit like saying LSD or something like that. But it sounds really cool. Relax.
I didn't write this so much detail in the article because I didn't have so much space, but I actually wrote it. The whole reason I went on this path of kind of investigating how to be more healthy and relaxed is because there's some point in my life where I was pushing my art so hard, I was pushing myself so hard that I got really serious health problems from trying too hard, from drawing too much, and ignoring the signs, like ignoring my body complaining to me like, hey man, take it easy. So I got to a point where I was having so much pain in my shoulder and my neck and my wrist, of course, because of trying to achieve something, that I couldn't, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep because of how much pain there was. And so then I went kind of really, looking for a solution to this. Like, how can I not do that anymore? And so then nowadays, when I look at other people, especially maybe younger artists who are still learning and maybe trying to get their career off the ground or something, and I see them doing similar things, so that really makes me want to share this kind of thing, so that maybe I can save them a bit of trouble, because I've gone through it, so they don't have to.
Yeah, well, you know, the first thing with relaxing is important, because I mean I've worked with people at course and things like that, and if you're sitting there just stressing about it, you won't get anything done. You have to kind of relax and know that there is a deadline, but not get so worked up that I've got to get this thing done, and actually stress so much about getting it done, where you could just be relaxing and actually doing it, just getting through the work. I mean, for instance, I work at pickpacking. I just go around in my trolley picking drugs and putting them into boxes and sending them off to places. I get less done if I sit there stressing about the job. I get more done actually actually doing the thing and not stressing that I have to do this within 10 minutes, and it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same with my painting. I know that I've got to produce these pieces within 2-3 weeks at least. If I stress about that, it'll end up in the end pretty bad, the painting, but yeah, if I sit there actually working on the piece, I can get it done at a pretty good, and it turns out pretty good. Yeah,
you're actually much more productive when you relax, right? That's kind of funny when you hear it, but it's true. And the whole thing, the whole idea of this article is for you to learn how to see stress in your body and your mind, because your body gets hurt not because of the physical thing that you're doing. If you think about it, all we're doing is pressing some plastic pieces on the keyboard and then moving this little stick on the screen. And how could you get hurt doing that? But people do all the time. I'm a good example, and I see people on Facebook or in the office, then they're rubbing their wrists and they're kind of rubbing their neck. And some of them, if it gets bad enough, they have to take days off, or they go to the hospital or the therapist or the massage or whatever. And everybody is noticing these symptoms, but they don't understand where the cause is. So, and they go back and keep doing the same thing that's leading to the symptoms. So I'm trying to show people where the symptom or where the cause is, the root of it, and that is having a tense mind. Having a mind that's like, I need to do this, I got to do that, or oh man, I can't let this happen, I can't let that happen. It's this wanting something or not wanting something that makes you tense up. And if you can see that, then you just have to counteract it, to not have that tension there, to not hold it all the time and let it build up. Because when your mind gets tense like that, then it translates into your body being tense, and then if you hold it long enough, you start to get injured or sick. So that relaxing is actually, it's the cure to this. Is you see your mind being tense by smiling and by paying attention, and then when that tension comes, you relax. And it's also not just kind of holding the flood at bay, so to speak, because tensions are coming to you all the time. it's actually reversing the trend. Your mind is generating this kind of tension because of the habit that you have of always tensing up when you want something or when you don't want something, and it's a lifelong habit. But every time you notice that your mind starts to get tense and you relax, you're training your mind a completely different habit, which is don't get tense. You can do things while being relaxed. You don't have to long for a certain result or be afraid of a certain other result. So this habit gets built up every time you do this RSD thing. And eventually your mind will just be able to be relaxed and happy constantly. And you don't have to kind of try so hard all the time. You can have this kind of mental clarity more and more in your life, and everything gets more fun and easier in a way, because you don't have to feel the stress and the tension when you do it.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, smiling, you gotta be happy doing what you're doing. So you also talk about like comparing like your work to others, the kind of emotional pains in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have you compared your art with others?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm human, right?
Yeah.
I did a lot in the past, and it's kind of, I guess it's a very common thing that you see or hear in the artist community. People post memes about it, it's like, man, I can't draw today because I saw something that's so good that I just can't, or something like that, or somebody shows a painting like I don't know, like a 10-year-old kid from China did, and it's just like, okay, everybody else, we don't need to do anything anymore. He's got it. Something like that.
Yeah.
So that's also another big reason that I want to look for a way to a better way to kind of respond, to things, because that way of responding, I guess that you can intuitively tell it's not good, right? That if you see somebody else being good at something, why should it make you feel bad? Isn't it a good thing to see? Isn't it good to see somebody else having fun and being good at what they do? So I thought, yeah, there's got to be a solution to that. I mean, there's got to be a better way to do that. And it's actually, like you said, it's the same thing. It's the same reason that you get pains and stuff in your body. Is that your mind is tense and you don't see it. So your mind works like this. Every time you see or hear or taste or think of anything, if it likes it and wants more of it, it gets tense. It gets into this mode of being greedy for it. Like, oh, I like this. I want this. And if it doesn't like something and it tries to push it away or tries to change it, it gets tense. So like, oh, I see this thing. It makes me feel bad. I don't want it. I don't like this. I want to change the way I feel. So it's the liking and the not liking that creates this stress and this tension. Is your mind trying to make reality something other than what it is? And that is a bit silly, because reality is what it is. You can't really you don't change it by wishing it to be different. So and the solution to it is also the same. If you see something that makes you feel bad, no matter what it is, like for example, in this case, you see somebody else being extremely good or young or whatever, and your mind goes, oh man, this is depressing. You just notice that your mind is tensing up out of habit. and you relax and you smile, and you're training your mind to say, no, it's okay. It's okay to see things like this. It's okay to be happy, to smile and be relaxed when I see something like this. And it may feel unnatural to you. I mean, it will feel unnatural to you if you have this problem. And that's only because of habit, because you're used to this other way of behaving. But you do it a few times and slowly your mind will get it. It'll go like, yeah, it is okay. I don't need to be stressed out because somebody else is good at art. And you keep smiling and being relaxed, and your mind will go like, yeah, you know what? I can be happy that somebody else is good at art. And you change the habit. So after a while, it goes away, and you feel really happy about it. You'll feel happy because you know that your mind knows, like, I've given up a bad habit, and it's a really good, happy feeling. You'll notice it. It's not something you'll miss.
Yeah.
And that makes you, motivated to keep practicing this way, because you just, you like being happy, right? I mean, most people do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you've got to, you should be happy that these artists out there that can do it really well. It's great to see, and
Yeah.
it's when you're trying to be a good artist, obviously you want to be better than everyone else at points, and that's some of the younger artists, the mindsets are like that. Unfortunately, but it's just getting yourself out of that mindset of I want to be better than everyone in the world, and you just want to be the better you. You want to get good at what you're doing. For me, I see artists everywhere that are awesome. I feel they're way better than me, but I'm not worried. I'm worried about working on my art and trying to get what I'm trying to do as good as I can, rather than worried about what they're doing, and that is what keeps me creating and making things. So I really enjoy, for me, I'm creating this book at the moment. I really enjoy creating this book, seeing how the characters have played out, how the story is looking, and just portraying a story that I want to tell through this book.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, like, I really agree that it's much more, let's say, productive to be happy about what you're doing, rather than to be anything about somebody else is doing. It's both productive and also is good for you, right? It's good that you don't feel depressed or resentful or whatever, or jealous, And so, I mean, most people can actually know this theoretically. Lots of people understand that I shouldn't do this, and that's why there's memes and jokes about it. Is people see that this is not a good habit, but they don't quite know how to change your mind to be different. And that's what this article is for. Is I'm giving people a tool, an actual concrete tool to change their mind, because you don't change your mind by thinking about it, right? You change your mind by physically doing something different, and that's the thing with the relaxing and smiling. Is these are the things you physically do every time you notice your mind is having a negative reaction to something. And every time you do this, you reduce that old habit, and you build up a new habit. And like, if you want to be, like you said, if you want to be as good as you can possibly be as an artist, then you do this. Because every time, if you cannot be depressed or angry or resentful at somebody else, when you relax and smile in response to this, you maintain like a uplifted mental state that says, I'm okay, I don't need to worry about it. And then when you have a mental state like that, you tend to naturally draw more and work on the things that you like to do, and you don't need to get demotivated or depressed and go sulk in your room. So you end up being more productive, and you end up having more fun with what you're doing, and you end up being more skillful at it. So it actually makes you better. It's much more effective than the other habit of being, jealous at somebody or whatever it is.
Awesome. Yeah, you do become more productive, which is great. Yeah. Are you always happy with your art, or?
Well, I can see that some works are more appealing, and I can see sometimes they're not so appealing because of whatever reason. Maybe I wasn't paying so much attention, or I just didn't have such good ideas at the time. And that happens all the time. Nobody does their best work every single time. If you think that, then probably you have a bit of pride in you. But at the same time, nobody does their worst work all the time, and lots of people feel that way too. They think like, "Oh, this work is no good. No, this other one is no good." If you feel that, you're probably having a bit of too much, self-doubt. And they're kind of both extremes. They're not true, and not helpful for what you want to achieve. So I just recognize that it's a fact. It's a bit like getting sick and getting healthy, that it happens. And pretty much, if you're alive, it happens, right? And there's no way that you can have just one thing or the other. I don't know any single human being who's always healthy, never gotten sick or injured. And I don't know any artist who's always producing perfect work that is, their best all the time. So if you see that, then you see the point of having this balance, and that's what I do. Is every time I do a work, if I feel myself starting to hate it, to have this mental tension, like I don't like this, I'm not good, blah blah blah. The mind starts, getting really tense and having this battling kind of. I just do the thing. I relax, and I smile, and I keep going. And if I start to feel really good about something, like, oh, this is amazing, this is the best, I do the same thing. Because getting too attached to a work it can be good, it keeps you going, but at the same time, it has its drawbacks. Because if you really, really like something, and you really let your mind is getting tense in that situation too, when you start really like, oh, I love this is the best. If somebody comes and says that's not so good, then you have that reaction of like, what do you mean it's not good? You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's the drawback to that. And so I relax and smile in response to both kind of emotional situations. And it basically because both ones makes my mind tense up, and being tense is not pleasant. It feels bad, and it makes my body tense up and feel a bit painful. So and I like to feel good. So I just kind of relax and let it go and say it is how it is. And I keep doing in that mode, and I do it as often as it takes. Sometimes every few seconds or every few minutes, I notice that tension there, the liking or not liking, and I relax. And I go back to being relaxed and smiling and doing it. And if I do it that way, then it doesn't matter how good the work turns out. I'll be okay with it. I'll be happy with it. And it works. I see the results. Like I'm doing that for the last about a year and a half, and I've been very productive. Did a lot of paintings, and I like the way they're going. And people seem to respond really well to them. They like what I'm putting out. So it seems to work, both internally and externally.
Awesome. Well, that's great. That's working out for you and everything. Yeah, it's been great chatting with you. You can check out Ze's work here in Nymphadori's gallery. Yeah, thanks for joining me.
Oh yeah, thanks for inviting us. It's nice to be here, and it's cool to see your progress. You're constantly improving, and working on what seems like really fun stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I'm just coming into the end of it, the end of my book. So, you know, I've only got the one more page to go, and then it's all just editing and everything like that, and then, you know, move on to the next project kind of a thing. So, yeah, it's been great. And, yeah, doing these YouTube videos, I'm doing 2 a week. So, yeah, everyone check those out. You can check out all the videos that I've had with UZ, and also Tina Tina as well, in the Nymphadora one. Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining me. Have a good one. Keep drawing, smiling, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.